Angus wants to make a movie that looks like a blockbuster from the 1970s, 1980s, right? The cinematic look that he's after is kind of one that's a little bit like more mature and aged up than something you might typically be like expecting from a Pixar film, right? And so that means we are putting all kinds of like detail and grit on the screen and into our models and all of our designs that are this kind of like new for this film, right? And then the chunky aspect of it is very much like inspired by that sort of like 1980s kind of consumer electronic, like cassette futurism kind of look that we were really kind of jiving on as sort of the area that we wanted to be in terms of the overall design of the film. So that's kind of the confluence of those two things is the look of our film. We really wanted to incorporate like a sense of reality into the world that we were building. We took a awesome trip down to the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, which is NASA, and that was like hugely informative for us. We really wanted the world that we're creating to have this kind of tactile push button sort of mentality to it. We don't have any touch screens or kind of newfangled looking technology. We really wanted to embrace that kind of old school look in all of the tech of our world. So that was huge. Also getting to kind of walk around NASA and see the work environment for the astronauts and all the professionals and support staff that are there really like gave us a window into what the world of professionals who are doing that kind of work is like, right? So it was just as interesting to see the bulletin boards and the hallways of NASA where like the astronauts are working as much as it was getting to see the awesome rockets and all of their training equipment, because that's kind of the thing we're trying to make. We're trying to make a real fleshed out world that basically feels bigger and more expansive than just the rooms you get to see in our film. So that was a super awesome opportunity and a lot of fun. We wanted that tangibility, that realism in all of the places in our film, but probably the place that you see it most is like in the cockpit, right? Buzz is surrounded by all this, like these levers, these buttons, these lights. We kind of really wanted it to feel like a real place that we were sticking a camera into and actually shooting in a real set. And a big part of achieving that was kind of making sure that we had that realistic level of detail. Like oftentimes in animation we're kind of stylizing or abstracting shapes and forms to kind of make them a little bit more appealing or cartoony, and we definitely do that in this film as well. But we definitely leaned farther into trying to have the level of fidelity and the detail in Buzz's surroundings that you might actually see in a real cockpit, like adding all those cool wires and graphics applications. Like you look at the inside of an actual jet cockpit and it's just replete with stuff, right? And we really wanted that sense, right? So that when you are flying on a mission, when Buzz is kind of going through outer space, you have all this stuff that's kind of shaking and rattling around in the cockpit. You have all these lights and buzzers flashing and making noise, and basically just something that exudes that sense of risk and danger, which is kind of like the sort of vibe that we're going for. It's like not this kind of clean, safe, enterprise he's going on. Like he's risking his life in the pursuit of his mission. And so like building sets that had that level of detail to kind of elevate that sense of danger was kind of a key part of the whole look of the film.